The brush tool. The brush tool is literally your paintbrush in Photoshop. You can draw right on the canvas with the brush tool. So you can see that in this example here. To change the color of the brush tool, double-click the top color swatch in the bottom of the toolbox. This window will pop up when you double-click the color swatch. You can select any color in this window. You can change the brush size and shape in the options bar by clicking the down arrow to the number. You can also change the opacity, how transparent or see-through the paint is. So I'm going to go over here into Photoshop. It's my recommendation that anytime that you use the paintbrush tool, you create a new layer. You can do this one of two ways. You can click on this right down here in the lower right corner. You can click on this page here, and it will create a new layer here. Or if you go up in here in this menu and you click on layer and then new and then click on layer, and this window will pop up and you can click OK. So I definitely recommend anytime that you're using the paintbrush tool that you always create a new layer. So over here, I'm going to select my paintbrush tool. If I want to change the color, I can set the foreground color right here. So if I double click on this, I can choose any of these colors here on this spectrum. And I'm going to choose purple, and you can see you can change the value of that, and you can also change the hue. So I'm going to choose a purple here. Now, if I go to paint on here, you can see that it is a small brush. I'm going to hit Command Z to go back. If I go up here, I can change, this is the options bar. If I change the size of my brush, I can make it bigger. And you can see here that I've made my paintbrush bigger. Again, I'm going to hit Command Z on my keyboard. I can also change the shape of my brush. So remember I said that this is like your paintbrush. So artists will know that there are different styles of paintbrushes. So with these different styles of paintbrushes, there are also different styles that you can make. So this one is kind of a round brush, and it kind of makes a weird pattern like that. If I want to delete this layer, I can just simply click and drag it into the background. That's what's great about working on separate layers. And let's see, let's try out another one. So I'm going to scroll down here, and there's also some other texture that you can add on here. One of my favorites is the leaf, number 74. And if I click and drag on here, and I'm going to hit Command Z, I'm going to make this size just a little bit bigger so that you can see what this does. So you can see that this paintbrush adds leaves to the artwork. So it actually adds different tones and everything to that as well. So again, I'm going to delete this layer. I'm going to create a new layer so that I'm not drawing on that layer. So let's say that I want this to, and I'm actually going to change this to normal. It was on color burn. So if yours isn't working correctly, just make sure that the mode is in normal. So if I change the opacity over here, I can then make light leaves on here. So let me show you what this looks like just by hiding everything on here. So now that I have a white background, you can see this a little bit better. Just by changing the opacity, it makes it darker and a little bit more see-through with the lighter that it is. So you can see that those are very light there. And if I bring back my characters and my background, you can see that it's really light. And again, I can just delete that layer and I can continue to create new layers there.